T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's your Manchester. Well, a very good evening to each and every one of you joining me, Miss Belinda Scandal, for this week's episode of Your Manchester. Oh boy, have we got a show for you today. Guests galore, segments galore. It is a wonderful, wonderful one. Of course, I'm wearing my poppy scarf for obvious reasons, everybody. Sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. This is what's on the show this evening. So our first, hello? Over here. So our first guest this evening is an absolute, I looked like I was thin then for a second. That was a moment. Our first guest this evening, everybody, is a lady that needs very little introduction. She's a dear friend of mine, and she's been doing this wonderful job we call drag for a very, very long time, everybody, and she's just doing amazing with it. She's done RuPaul's Drag Race UK. She's had singles out, hits out, everybody, hits out, and she's here today. Please welcome Miss Divina De Campo, everybody. There we go. Solo today, Divina. I am absolutely, my tenor lady is overfilled with joy. It really is. How are you?
I'm really good. Yeah, I can imagine that you're excited. I mean, you're so excited, you nearly got the name right. And
you know what's annoying about that? I've spent all week typo checking everything that's going to come across the screen, and then I go and get it wrong. It's like, you're looking very glamorous in your nice sort of Harley Quinn sort of hair.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm getting ready for the festive season, so I thought let's have a bit of something different going on.
Because you've got a hit coming out, haven't you? A hit.
I've got a new thing. I think it's going to drop on the 20th of November. It's called Red and Silver, and I thought I'd branch out and, you know, do something different.
Why have you called it Red and Silver then? Why have you called it Red and Silver? Any particular reason?
I mean, I can't imagine why I didn't call it Red and Silver.
I mean, I'm impressed that you've branched out today. You've got a bit of blonde going on. It's very rare we see you in blonde.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying, as always, trying to be different. But you're always ginger, aren't you? Always.
I stay ginger. Always ginger. It's tonight I look like little orphan Annie's got a side job, don't I? It's quite sensational. And how's lockdown been for you then? How have you been coping with it?
Lockdown's been really busy, actually, if I'm honest. I've been really, really fortunate to have loads of exciting, interesting projects going on, and then focusing on the EP Red and Silver. And then I've also got a Christmas special coming out with Fruit TV, which is a Red and Silver Christmas.
It's like you've took something and made it powerful, and made it your own. Because when that was brought up to you on RuPaul's Drag Race UK, you weren't happy about being associated with just red and silver, were you?
Well, I mean, it was mainly just the fact that it was framed as for the last 10 years, that's all I'd done. Which, you know, you and I have worked together loads. And when on earth had I ever just worn red and silver?
How do you answer that without insulting your guest? I mean, it's fabulous though. Now on that show, that RuPaul's Drag Race, we're going to talk about the second season coming soon. But first of all, on that very show, you showed that you could sew, you showed that you could sing, you showed that you could dance, you showed that you could act. What is that you can't do?
I can't cook.
You can't what?
I can't cook. If we can't cook, won't cook, we're still on TV. That would be I'd be both teams. But I can't do either. I refuse to cook, and I'm also rubbish at it.
Well, you should do what Bagger did then and go on MasterChef or something.
I don't think I would have managed what she did. You'd have curry baked beans, if it would be curry baked beans on toast. That's what you get into. And you'd be blooming grateful. I'll tell you that for nothing.
So, this new single you're bringing out, then, what type of music is it that we're going to be listening to? What genre? Because you do everything, so that's why I ask.
Yeah, on the EP, there's a real mix of different things. So it's 4 different tracks. Red and Silver is my take on a real like Christmas classic. It's like a Bing Crosby, Judy Garland, that kind of Christmas song, but also with a bit of a capitalist commentary in there as well, i.e. go and buy all of my merchandise. And actually do, please. I've got bills to pay. And then
hence why I'm here.
It also then there's like a track which is called Slay the House Down, which is a sort of an early 2000s, late 90s rappy track. So it's very sort of Too Unlimited. That's, still poppy, but a bit more, also a bit of a joke. And then there's Stuff My Stocking, which is a love letter to Father Christmas.
Where's the research for these song titles come from, please?
It's a lifetime of misspent hours,
Oh, dearie me. Are you still working with the other two, by the way, doing the act with the other two girls?
Absolutely, yeah. Prop Destroyers are coming at you. Yeah, you wait. You're not ready to what's coming.
This isn't a separation of the girl group then at all, is it?
No, not at all. This is, lots of people make music and it runs concurrently with what else they're doing. And that's always what I've done anyway. Like, I've been writing music for ages. I just didn't put it out.
So 2021, obviously, because 2020 has been quite a quiet year. Has it been a quiet year for you, or have you still managed to do bits and pieces?
I've been really, really lucky. I've still had things going on, so I've been doing like lots of lockdown things, and the Christmas special has been made in my garage. So,
what about the podcast that you were doing?
High caliber special effects and graphics and scenery.
This is just craziness. Do you think there'll ever come a moment where you'll want to retire?
No. Oh my goodness. That's the whole point of drag. You never have to retire. It just gets older, that's all.
You just get a stronger bungee rope for the back of your head. I'm connected to the wall at the moment.
Exactly. Yours is at the wall. Mine's next door. It's in their garage.
So, is there something that you'd like to do that you've not touched on yet with your career? Because obviously you've now been given the permission via RuPaul's Drag Race and via the singing show, because you did The Voice as well.
I did The Voice. I was a judge on TV already. I was the first drag judge on UK TV. Sorry about it, RuPaul. I think
didn't even bother doing it this year in Canada, did I? No. My bad.
Listen, if you can get paid for doing nothing, why would you not do that?
Yes, exactly. So what would you like to do then? What's the next thing for you?
Well, I've already done some bits and pieces in the West End, but I'd like to do a proper West End tour. That's something that, forever I've always wanted to do. And so if I got the opportunity to do something like that, that would be great. I would.
What type of part would you be looking for doing that?
Oh, it'd have to be drag. I'd have to be, it'd have to be like Priscilla or Priscilla.
Priscilla or Priscilla.
I'm trying to create that happening right now. I'd have to be the old one, though, wouldn't I? I'd have to be Bernice.
You're not that old, Flower. You're only 20 odd, aren't you? I tried to say that without choking. Did you see that? Hundreds of people now clamouring at the screen thinking, oh my God, Belinda's got the COVID. Everybody panic. Panic, everybody. She's inhaled.
Right, Cora.
I'm not allowed to get ill. Do you know, I have to say this year has been the only year, physically, mentally, I'm absolutely screwed, but physically, this is the only year where I've not had a cold, and I can't fathom it out at all.
Actually, since lockdown, I'm the same. I've not had a cold or a cough or anything this year. And usually, because you know what it's like. We're meeting people all the time, aren't we? And they're drunk and licking your face and all kinds of things. Thank you so much.
Oh dear. You're always so cheerful. You're always coming across as so cheerful. Perhaps recommend to our viewers how to stay so cheerful.
I mean, it sounds very airy fairy, floaty, hippie. I am a bit of a hippie, so. But I read The Secret about 15 years ago or more, and that had a real profound effect on how I approach situations. It is a practice, though. Like you can't just read it and then it's done. Like you have to kind of put it into practice and really work at it, at creating those positive feelings and thoughts. And because naturally I'm quite a pessimistic person, and because I'm so anxious, I'm always looking for what's wrong with something and how can I make it better. So it's about shifting that and making it more about what is it that I want rather than what is it that I've got that I don't want. It's what is it that I want, and I prefer being happy to being miserable.
We'd never have guessed. We would never have guessed. Whereas I'm the opposite. I love nothing more than sitting here and just being a grump. I find it's very therapeutic. Nobody ever accuses you when you're working then of what's up with that person. They're not smiling tonight. I don't smile. What's the point? End of. Davina, when's the single out again, please?
This single, the EP, is out on November the 20th, and it'll be on pre-order this Friday.
And what's the message?
The message is have a nice Christmas and buy my stuff.
Divina De Campo, thank you so much. Divina, everybody. I love that woman. I really do. She always cheers me up. Now, we like to mix things up, and don't forget still to come tonight. We are going to be having a proper conversation, everybody, with Emma Kenny. Who you might recognise off the television, Psychologist, and absolute, to me, over the last few weeks, has been a godsend. So we're going to be speaking to her. But before that, let's send me totally around the edge by seeing who Hayley's got as a special guest on the Box.
Hi, I'm Hayley, and welcome to this week's On the Box. How are we all doing? What have you been watching? Drop me a tweet as usual at HeyKate, HAYKATE. And as you can see, I'm not on my own this week, because look who's joined me. It's Dale Wingbottom, everybody. How are you doing?
You're right, Chuckle Butty. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's all right. It's nice to be here.
It is lovely to have you here in Chorlton. So you sent me a message, didn't you?
I did.
And you wanted to come on my segment because you wanted to talk about what you've been watching on the box, because you've got some recommendations, haven't you?
I do.
So what have you been watching lately then?
Well, I've been watching Life on BBC iPlayer.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Filmed here in Manchester, would you believe?
Yeah.
And it's got some wonderful actors in it. It's got Alison Steadman, Peter Davison playing a doctor.
Yeah.
Not typecast at all.
No, not at all.
And it's got the wonderful Syra Chowdhury in it, in what is possibly her biggest breakthrough role.
Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant. She's from No Offence and also Hollyoaks and Corrie.
Yeah, she was. So, and it's brilliant though, isn't it?
It's absolutely brilliant. It's anyone who's not watched it, it's set in a sort of a big house that's been converted to flats, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's all about how all their lives intertwine with each other.
It is.
And it is absolutely brilliant. I binge watched it over a weekend.
I did it in a day.
Yeah, no wonder you're looking a little bit tired there.
I know. But it was wonderful. I loved it.
I did too. What else have you been watching then?
Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, yeah. Show us some
Yeah.
of your moves then.
Hey,
He's off.
Yeah, there we
He's
go.
off.
Fantastic. Yes, I'm loving that.
So who's your favourite then?
Well, I quite like Maisie Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she's wonderful.
who's she then? Because I don't know that one.
She's Tiffany from EastEnders.
Oh yeah, you love EastEnders though, don't you?
I do. She was named after the Tiffany that got bumped off by Frank.
Ah, yeah. That's a while ago now,
It's
isn't
a
it?
while ago,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
can't remember how long ago that is, but it seems a while ago now.
90s, I think.
So who else do you like on Strictly then?
I like Bill Bailey
Yeah.
and Oti Mabuse. And
Yeah.
I also like Nicola Adams. She's with Katya this year.
Yeah, Nicola. I love Nicola.
Isn't she lovely?
She's a cool girl. I
Yeah.
really, really, really like Nicola.
And she fought for having a same gender partner.
She did fight for that, and it's wonderful. You know, she's just a great lass, really, isn't
Oh,
she?
yes. It's a milestone.
This is a milestone, definitely,
There we go.
definitely. So what else have you been watching? Anything else?
Yeah, I've been watching myself.
You're watching yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, because you've got your own show and it's called
I
Dale
do.
Wingbottom Show, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the Dale Wingbottom Experience.
Yes.
And we're available on TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram at the moment because obviously we can't do the live shows and everything
No.
because of this whole business.
Yeah, all the COVID business.
Oh, yeah, that business.
What is your @handle for Instagram? Can you remember?
It is at Real D Wingbottom.
There you go.
There you go.
So you heard it here first, folks. Do go over to Instagram.
You said
Do. Did I say
You
do? Do go over to Instagram and have a watch of what Dale does, because you've actually interviewed me, haven't you, in the
I
past?
have, yes, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. So I do all sorts of stuff on there. The thing we're running at the moment is Guess the Theme Tune with Evil Clown.
Oh, Evil Clown's one of my favourites, apart from you, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Because you're just gorgeous, aren't you? Definitely. Evil Clown.
Oh, yeah, he's not here at the moment. He's off planning his next world torture.
Oh, good grief. Well, on that note, we'll end this tonight and we will see you. Well, I will. I'm hoping you're going to come back.
Oh, yeah, I'll come back.
He'll come back. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
My goodness me, a Muppet with a puppet. Everybody, did you ever think you'd see the day? We have got so many nice shows coming up for you before we go into our Christmas hiatus, everybody. And of course, 9th of December, everybody, we will be celebrating with the world one particular soap. And we are very privileged to have something very special going on that very week. That's right, everybody. The Julie Goodyear collection will be coming to the studio. We're going to be talking jewellery, everybody. All the lovely jewellery will be right here. And we've also got some special announcements as we get nearer in regards to Corrie for you as well. We're moving on now, though, everybody, as we talk to our next guest. Now, she's a lady called Emma Kenny, and you may recognise her from the programme this morning. Now, she's a TV presenter and a psychologist, and she's doing some amazing, amazing things at the moment. So, good evening, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me. I was enjoying listening to all of that then.
Thank you very much indeed. A bit of Corrie. Can you believe it's been 60 years?
I can believe it's 60 years. It does feel like it's been on my entire life.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Now, you're from Manchester, aren't you?
I am. I'm just a Bury girl, born and bred, grew up here, never left.
Right down for the tram, eh? Right down for the tram. Now, you've been instrumental over the past few weeks with another 42 people. Perhaps tell us a little bit more about that.
So I've been involved with a group called Recovery, which is basically asking the government for 5 particular things to change the way that we are with the government. And part of that has been to get psychologists together who feel really, really angry and really moved by what's happening in our society at the moment. And we've got together and created this letter to the government called Psychology Counts. But that's done in tandem with lots of other lobbying, where we're just trying to get people to understand the long-term implications of what lockdown does and has on our community, but most of all on our children. So it's been this independent experience gathering mental health practitioners. It's now up to thousands and thousands of signatures, but also trying to coordinate that with getting involved with somebody called Recovery, which is trying to get the government to think about changing the way that they're dealing with the current situation and climate.
Because I don't know if you'd agree with me on this, but as much as the physical situations are clear with this pandemic and the lockdowns, the mental implications must be rife as well.
I mean, what drives me insane, and to anybody listening, if you are watching this and you feel afraid, please stop, because the data is there. One of the things that I've struggled with is the media tell you a story, and understandably people trust the government, trust the media. But if you dig into the reality of the data, you don't really have anything to be afraid of. There has been a horrible illness, as there have been in previous pandemics, but it's not what they expected it to play out like. And now we know the impacts of the physical ailments. We know how to treat it better, and there's miles better outcomes. And actually, you shouldn't be too worried. Like, the average death is 82.4. The average death in the UK is 81. So we have to be realistic about that. But what we do know is catastrophic are the mental health issues, particularly when you look at safeguarding. So safeguarding means that we protect children from abuse, harm, and neglect. That's all the government has done. They've abused, harmed, and neglected children. They've let their education fall apart. They've put them in masks. They've made them feel completely foundation-wise just taken away from them. All of those things are happening before our eyes, and also they've traumatized people for months. This is a big problem. We've had fear pumped into our society, a narrative where people's whole experience of what they thought was secure has been eradicated. And we are now also dealing with mass unemployment. 3 million people haven't had one penny of help. 14 million people are poorer now than they were before. So when you think about mental health and physical health together, they are very much around foundations of security, such as working and employment and education. And then finally, just to add to that, it doesn't help when Matt Hancock decides to start talking about the fact that now they've got this amazing study suddenly, which says that, 1 in 5 people won't recover from mental health issues because of COVID. So now they're even trying to say that COVID is the reason for mental health decline. And so I'm very openly and very actively speaking out against this narrative. It's skewed and it's unfair.
Are we aware of suicides and perhaps the increase of alcoholism as well? Is this something that's increased?
It's one of those things, again, it's amazing how they wheel out studies. They can wheel out a study that suddenly gets peer-reviewed quicker than I've ever seen studies peer-reviewed before. But, trying to get one that's actually based on reality is quite hard to get through at the moment. And people who work in that field would know exactly what I mean. So anecdotally, what we can say is the Samaritans have said that they think that suicide's going up. The ambulance service has as well. They've just done a study which Nadine Dorries was gleefully tweeting yesterday. I use the word gleefully because she was the apparent mental health minister. She suggested that suicide hasn't gone up because in the 3 months of lockdown that they compared with the 3 months directly preceding it, not the one the year before, and actually anecdotally that could have removed stresses for people furloughed, so it's not a good comparative. They've actually found that it's not risen by any more than 7%, which is what we expect on a year-to-year basis because we're so bad at managing mental health in the UK. But that was something she was celebrating. But that's not an effective measure. It was out of 9 million people. So the chances are they just selected the areas very nicely, and that's the results. I definitely agree. We know alcoholism has gone through the roof. We know addiction is. We know self-harm has. These are all things that we can evidence in research. That psychology counts. If people want to look at that, you can go on psychologycounts.com and all the evidence is there that I'm demonstrating and talking about now. But I do feel it's got to a point now, particularly coming from a working class background in Manchester, I'm really worried about my people, so to speak, and I'm sure you are, the people that don't have a voice and the people who are marginalised and who are poorer than ever. It's just wrong.
It's for me, this year has been very, very scary, but I'm not sure listening to some things whether I've been scared by what I've been told and whether I'd be as scared if I'd just been put in lockdown and not given all these bits of, little niggly information.
I think the most important thing was that lockdown has been proven to be completely unsuccessful. Unless you look at somewhere like New Zealand, where they've just basically closed the borders. Well, that's not very good because it'll open the border and vaccines aren't 100% safe or 100% useful all the time. So it's not going to be something they can avoid. If you look at Sweden, they've done really well. Obviously, they had more deaths at the beginning, but that's leveled out massively. And the UK, I think Boris probably did want to do that. They wanted to go like Sweden and then got taught to not do that. So he kind of went against it. It was too late. Since then, it's just been ridiculous. I mean, before we went into lockdown this time, they just brought out a pile of data that was lies and then went, oh, yeah, we've got the data now. It turns out it was all lies, but let's just stay locked down. What is happening to our country? That's driving me mad.
Of course, the next thing now that the government are quite, as you would use the word, gleefully promoting is the vaccines are literally just around the corner. And now we're to worry about that now.
Magic vaccine that's just arrived with 90% efficacy. I mean, 90% efficacy. I mean, don't get me wrong, listen. Vaccines have done wonders as far as things like measles and mumps. You know, even though I wasn't vaccinated as a child, I vaccinated my kids. I think that there's lots of positives. But when it comes down to a hastily rushed through, no matter how effectively monitored it is, the fact they've removed liability from the pharmaceutical companies, meaning that you can't claim directly from this pharmaceutical company if they injure you. That worries me. If it's trustworthy, don't do that. But the other thing is that most people aren't going to need it because it looks like we've reached some community immunity. Now, listen, I think everyone should be allowed to have a choice. And if you want a vaccine, you should absolutely have one, because that can give people real reassurance. And if that's how they feel, that will be good. But no, I'm not going anywhere near it. Not for 25 years. You know, when I've got the research evidence and time frame, I'll look at it.
Well, this is it. They're promoting it like it's like the saviour of saviours. And actually, they've done very little research, because we've obviously not tested it on millions of people yet, have we? So how can they promote it?
Well, because there's a lot of money in it, isn't there? There's a lot of vested interests in all of those things. And I think as well, when you start kind of looking at what they're saying, you have to look at parameters of vaccines. So the parameters of vaccine doesn't necessarily mean that people won't die of COVID or get really sick of it. It might just mean that it removes certain impacts of that particular illness. So you have to be very careful when you look at vaccines and what they're meant to do. And I definitely have seen today some research by scientists who are really unhappy with it. But like I said, it feels like if you say that now, psychologically, there's this real division, which is you're an anti-vaxxer. Well, I'm not an anti-vaxxer at all. And I don't have an issue with lots of medications, but I'm anti being told that it's mandated. So if they are going to stop people going to football matches, if they are going to stop people going to work, that's mandating by another door. And to be honest, the minute that anybody accepts that, whether you're pro or anti-vaccine, you have basically invited ownership of your body by the government. At the moment, you're not allowed to have sex as a single person. At the moment, you're not allowed to visit your friends and family in certain homes. You're not allowed, ideally, to protest or go to the gym. All these things that were civil liberties and that we took for granted, people are just willfully allowing to be eradicated. And so the reason that I'm so vocal, in spite of the fact that causes me a huge amount of issues in my career, I'm doing it because I care about children. I care about kids in poverty. I care about the fact that domestic homicide has nearly doubled. I care. And for people sat at home, married comfortably, they need to start caring, because it's their grandchildren who are going to be burdening this erosion of their freedoms and their erosion of liberty, and also the government having power over their body, which is offensive.
Yeah. Just before you go, Noema, just finally, how would you suggest or best tell people to survive and cope throughout the lockdown and what is left of this pandemic?
The first thing I do is say, look at people like @TheStatistics guy on Twitter. He's somebody who can't be known to you, but somebody that's very trustworthy. You'll be able to get all the statistics and data that will make you feel fantastic and not afraid of this virus anymore. Professor Carl Hennigan is another person to follow, because again, he's somebody who extrapolates data in a really positive way that helps you to feel rest assured. The other thing that I'd say is a lot of people are dealing with fears about unemployment and redundancy, and that's completely okay to have those fears, but don't let it get on top of you. Think to yourself, okay, if I have lost my job, let's get strategic. What are your skills? Sit down, figure them out, and then just mail everybody that you can mail to introduce yourself. You know, go on LinkedIn, make sure that you go on Twitter and kind of look for jobs, opportunities, because this can be a moment where it feels chaotic and scary, but it can be a position of growth as well. And the other thing I'd say to anybody listening is, if you're sitting at home thinking, I can trust the government, I don't have to worry about this, please start doing your research, because the research is evident, it's clear, it's there. And if you can look at it and still come away with the same opinion, then I think that you need to really look again, because it's time now that we stopped walking around and talking around this issue. We're being lied to. It's catastrophic, not just mentally, but emotionally, environmentally, socially, and certainly economically. And it's time to say no, because we need to protect our children.
Emma Kenny, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you. Absolutely fantastic, everybody. If you are at any point a little bit lonely, we've got some numbers that I think we'll bring up at this juncture, everybody, to bring up for you. If you are feeling worried or concerned about anything, these are the numbers to ring. We've got the Samaritans. Of course, you can contact them on 116 123, Mind on 0300 123 3393 or Calm on 0800 58 58 58 or Sane on 0300 304 700. All numbers to keep around with you, everybody. To keep around with you. Let's turn it to a different note, everybody. Now, Christmas is rapidly approaching, and there's a lot of these wonderful companies that give you the opportunity to have a mystery box. So if you're unsure about what you're going to buy for them and you're not sure what to do, there's one company that's doing absolutely wonderful with some of their things, and we're going to be unboxing one of their boxes in just a few minutes. But let's have a look at this company known as 500,000.
Everyone wants to surprise their loved ones from time to time. But this simple act of gratitude leads to unnecessary anxiety for most people. As a result, some spend too much time in choosing the right gift. And some just scrap the idea of gift giving altogether as it is too stressful. We at 500,000 want to take the anxiety and stress of selecting the perfect gift so that you can spend more time with your loved ones. From our rigorous research and customer feedback, we have a good idea about what a person might want depending on their profile. Whether it can Christmas, family reunion, sharing gifts at work, birthday, or any other occasion. We at 500,000 can spice up your occasions with a whole lot of fun. So, for just £15 you can gift quality products across Europe. Free shipping for customers in UK. If an item is spoilt or damaged, we will send you another item. We also place your message for your loved ones next to the gift box. To get a more in-depth idea about the gift roster, add-ons and international shipping, please visit www.500,000.eu.
Right then, well, let's take a look at this, everybody. So it arrives in a lovely little box like that, everybody. Let's open and see what's in it then. Here we go. Now remember, all this that I'm about to show you now, you can get with 500,000 for £20, everybody. £20 is their starting price for these things. And I just want to go through some, because that looks like I'm reaching in the box. Hold on. But reaching in the box, everybody, and pulling something out. Reaching. Very good. Yeah, so prices start from 20 quid. Now these boxes, you'd expect not as much. That's all I can say. You'd expect not as much. I feel like I'm on the shopping channel now, but let's delve in and see what we've got. Guessing we don't need any of the wrapping that comes with it. It's all very nicely securely packaged. Oh, let's do the first most important thing. Chocolate bar, everybody. A chocolate bar. Let's do that on the close-up. Are you ready? And a chocolate bar, everybody. Let's keep on that shot. I like that. We've got a chocolate bar there. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. You get a smart bracelet, everybody. A smart bracelet, which is I'm guessing it's your health steward, as it's bragged as there, everybody. So you get that as well. Let's see what else. There's loads of stuff in here. There's a cable. I'm guessing we've got something with USB coming up in a minute. Yeah, everything needs charging, so they've put one in. Let's see. Oh, there's another cable. So you're not short of your cables, everybody. You're not short of cables. Don't forget, this is called 500,000, okay? And my favourite thing in this, although maybe not the ones that you might want to go for, we've got AirPods. AirPods, everybody. And do you know my favourite thing about them? I don't know if you can get this with the competitor, but these are actually in a nice blush pink colour. So you've got your nice blush chargeable AirPods, everybody. Isn't that lovely? Now, you'd think that'd be enough for 20 quid, wouldn't you? You'd think that'd be enough, but it's not. Because also in here, everybody, move that out of the way, you get a humidifier. Now, let's have a look at this, because this looks very, very smart. A humidifier, something that you need as we approach winter, everybody. That's not a cigarette, that goes into there. Okay, so you've got a humidifier, obviously putting a bit of moisture back into your room, back into your place, everybody. Now, so that's 5 items. 5 items for £20, everybody. So I would recommend, not that any of this will see the light of day, because it's all going back to Casa de Scandal, everybody. I'm going to get it wrapped. Oh, it's charged already as well. It's telling me it's charged, which is always good. So I would recommend that you check these people out. Here's their email. I think we've got. Have we got their email? I'm not sure if we have. No. But we'll put that up on the website for you. It's 500,000 EU, everybody. 500,000 EU. Company based not too far from here, and they're absolutely fantastic. Once again, 500,000. It's enough to brighten your day, isn't it, everybody? And if that's not enough to brighten your day, then this just might.
Good evening, Shell and Bell, and welcome everyone to this week's weather forecast. And I'm Paul Rudd. Let's take a look at this week's weather outlook. Thursday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 10. Friday is looking like rain with the temperatures of 12. Saturday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 10, and Sunday is looking sunny and cloudy with the temperatures of 10 as well. Alright, that's it for this week's weather. The only thing that's keeping me warm overnight is a hot water bottle. What's keeping you warm? So now it's time to hand over back to the wonderful Belinda Scandal and the stunning Michelle Eagleton for this week's episode of Your Manchester.
Well, what an absolute, look, got a battery going now. What an absolutely fantastic show, everybody. I think I'll just sit down again. I think that'd be easy, wouldn't it? There we go. What an absolutely fantastic show we've had today, everybody. Now, next week, we've got another fantastic show lined up for you. And if you need to know more, then check it all out, everybody. We've got the wonderful Julie Goodyear collection. All the jewellery from Bet Gilroy, Bet Lynch. Try and think of her first name. I think that was Bet Lynch Gilroy. She's only been married once, and that was to Alec. You know, there's a long story. So next week I'll be donning my leopard print, everybody, and we've got a fabulous guest coming in. Plus, we are going to be previewing exclusively the new Corrie documentary on Your Manchester as well for you. So that is all coming up. Now, once again, if you are feeling a little bit sad, a little bit down, don't forget there is help. There is places out there. I always say the phrase "stay gold," and I mean it sincerely. Take care of yourselves and each other, and thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.
We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender. And in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender.